welcome back. Now let's start with the Punch newspaper. Looking at the headlines on the weekend naval officer clash. Ex-generals Fume as FG orders probe. FCT Minister Yerima face-off sparks concerns over civilian-military relations.
Okay, and just above the mass, we have National Assembly approves Tinubu's 1.15 trillion naira domestic loan. That is a huge amount of money.
Yes, a very
And
huge
also we have Reps probe 20 trillion naira abandoned federal properties. Interesting. And also we have my critics now praise me, says Obasanjo. Okay, and Bami. Okay, go ahead.
Now on page 7 we see that Bamidele Carlo differ on alleged plot to impeach Akpabio. Wow. And be fair, truthful in government criticism, Tinubu tells editors on page 17.
And we have PDP insists on Ibadan Convention amid court orders. I mean, we saw this coming. And the Mobat family demands fresh probe, bars wife from using surname.
I mean, this Mobat issue is something that has been
over the
years.
And OPEC, last but not least, from the business aspect, OPEC report shows Nigeria underproducing crude again. Again is attached to this statement, and it sounds like a warning. Now a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, let's move over to the Guardian and see what we have there. NGE insists on free press as Tinubu urges fairness and pledges recovery on page 6.
Kanu prays appeal court to stop terrorism charge ruling, and this is on the news page 7.
Now, Minister San differ on Wike's confrontation with military. I mean, this is making headlines almost on all the papers this morning.
Okay, and this is a big one. Federal government outlaws mother tongue policy, reinstates English as a language of instruction. Don't worry, we'll go to that.
All right, we have presidency denies Trump effect on NGX sell-offs as Khan seeks end to genocide.
Obaibena challenges global content dominance via Lekeleke. And also Obasanjo louds Makinde's bold leadership and Ibadan Central Bus Terminal inauguration. And that is all from the Guardian newspaper.
Looking at the Vanguard, we see that inadequate gas throws geometric power into first blackout in 60 days. And PDP court extends order permitting national convention till Friday.
Okay, so still on the weekend issue, no officer or soldier on lawful duty will be punished, says the defense minister. Interesting.
Okay.
As well as presidency clarifies Trump's threats not behind NGX sell-offs.
Now, UN names Nigeria, Mali among 16 hunger crisis hotspots. Right-of-way crisis, telcos operating costs soar to 5.8 trillion naira. This is from the NCC.
And right-of-way crisis, telcos operation costs soar to 5.8 trillion naira, says NCC. Okay, so over to, let's take one more. Anniversary. Okpebolo hails Edo's rebirth, reels out achievements. That's interesting. Congratulations to Edo State or whichever. So moving on to our next paper.
Yes, on the Nation newspaper, Makinde has made Ibadan livable, says Obasanjo on page 5. And just under that, President sends executive bill to create Cocoa Board on page 7.
Okay, and we have Kanu asks appeal courts to quash dismissal of his no-case submission.
All right, Tinubu to editors, champion national unity, report boldly. Okpebolo has performed, says Yowada and Oshomole.
And we have Damago's Anyawu's faction gives conflicting directives. Judgment today in Lamido's suit. Ibadan court extends to go ahead order. I think that's all we can take on the Nation newspaper, and probably that's all we can take on the papers today. Over to our newspaper review with the Oracle. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Chris.
Wesley. Good morning, Neuche.
Okay.
Good morning, people of the world.
Should we just dive right in? We've been seeing the same issue that happened with Wike on Tuesday. It's still making the headlines, and ex-generals have filmed as they are saying that they have no right to question the authority given to the naval officer, and that he is in no wrong. What do you think about that?
Well, yesterday it's been trending, and I believe if all the issues of Nigeria trend like a Wike clash or altercation with the young military officer, that probably would have gotten more attention by the world. But then things that trend in Nigeria are negative things, and we give all energy to it. What can we do? Let's keep talking about Wike altercation with a young military officer. There are two ways to it, and that's coming from me. Everybody is talking. We have had the senior advocates of Nigeria, ministers, everybody, retired generals, serving generals, talking. One thing is very clear. No man in leadership authority at any level has the power to lose his head on others. So that's moral. We're talking now. And then because respect is reciprocal, like they say, is a common word. So if you respect me, or if you command respect, respect will come to you. Respect is not talking down on people, using unprintable words on people who are human beings. And those, when you do such things and such people are able to hold themselves, you look like you are the mad person. And that's what happened in this situation. So that's the moral of it. Wike, in his position as Minister of Federal Capital Territory, has no right in any constitutional way, in any moral standing, to talk to a young serving Nigerian officer in uniform the way he did in the visual video.
Would you say that?
But then we come to the legality of it. Is the young officer on legal duty? If he's not on legal duty, who posted him there? Because most Nigerians are now not looking at what he's doing there. If the man who is the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, he has to go around and say Federal Capital Territory and all the lands there are under his care. And there are issues that in the past, the Abuja master plan has been, destroyed by people in power. Because Abuja is a conglomeration of people in power. And they keep disposing and appropriating things to themselves. If any man like the crackhead like Wike comes and want to review, we should be given power to review. When there is high-handedness in the review, then everybody will see if you have obtained your land in a proper way, not because you are a retired general or retired officer, so nobody should question how the land you are occupying in Abuja is acquired. You prove it. But when everybody who can afford to put a military officer in his property will not allow people to come and check what is happening in those properties, and that's what happened in Nigeria. And people are clapping and saluting the courage of the military officer for standing against the Minister of FCT, for going around his duty. Whether he's right or wrong, event will prove later. But once you stop him, what you are saying that you are stopping all the authority given to that man by the federal government of Nigeria, because you have another order given to you, which is still federal government of Nigeria. So you say, is Nigeria working against itself? Do we have confusion in how authorities are given? And we are not in military era. This is a civilian government. And the Minister of Federal Capital Territory has right to go about his duty. Whether he's doing about it wrong or rightly, it will depend. The people will judge him. But anybody could have been the Minister of FCT. It could not be, because after many will have been hold that position. Wike is holding it now. Who knows who will hold the future? If for instance, I'm not judging, but I said, assuming I get a property in Abuja and I didn't get it the right way, and I can afford to put military there, then that means nobody will come there and say, what is happening? Show me, let me know how this property is occupied. Because Wike didn't go there he cannot carry the land. He only came there to ask questions. And they use military to block him And then when he gets out of his head and people are not looking at it, it could be anybody tomorrow. So let us afford militaries, carry them, put them in all the properties. Let we cannot go there as FCT minister to ask questions. If we don't look at it that way, we are throwing the baby away with the bathwater. Whatever the morals and how we can conduct himself is a personality which is applying to the job. And history will tell. Because a lot of people have held that position and they have handled it differently. Every man given a position, you handle it the way you like. If you do well, history will judge you. If you do bad, all these other stories does not matter. He remains until there's a change. Wike remains the Minister of Federal Capital Territory. And nobody will take it for him unless the presidency decides otherwise, because they are the one who appointed. So we're expecting the federal government to make statement on that. Otherwise, it will happen, it will repeat itself. And all those people clapping, maybe the people who will face it next.
Okay, we're seeing that the National Assembly has approved Tinubu's 1.15 trillion naira domestic loan. You know, previously it was being considered by the National Assembly.
So he dreamt about it. He was approved when he was in the dream, thinking about what do I do? I need more money, and even the National Assembly approved it in the dream. We only manifested. Well, they tell us in Christianity that what happened in the spirit is manifested in the physical. So it has been confirmed in the spirit. Now all this one talking now is manifestation of borrowing in the physical. And I tell you, this is just the beginning. With the body language of National Assembly and the executive in this borrowing split, it is not stopping soon unless the same miracle Nigerians cry every day happens. They will go now to church or mosque and pray, God, stop our president from borrowing, change his mind, kabash and labash and plaster, and so that otherwise the man sits down there and he needs money to put Nigeria in order, and he thinks like this, and borrowers are always ready. But my concern is borrowing for what? What's the evidence of all this borrowing will have happened in 2 and some months, 2 and few months, 2 years and few months of this administration? What are we doing with it? Where are the evidences? Let the people who are the statisticians, the NBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, tell us in concrete terms what is borrowing. And just yesterday when we were talking, I said, this is already done. And today, as if I am a prophet. But now look at it. If our borrowing is clocking almost 190, what the other yesterday, you said about 190, is it trillion? Or who will pay? What is the thing on the ground? Because borrowing is good, but you must clearly define how to pay. Because only one child, for which if debtors fight, do everything, speak on you, even if not now, in the future. That's why we are worried, because we are borrowing away the future of our children and their children's children. And they will not, even if we are dead by then, they will not be speaking well of us. And so if you wonder, you want to be an ancestor tomorrow, and your children, great-grandchildren are saying, because you borrowed us into debt, you will never rest wherever you are. Let them think about it.
If we are going to be talking about borrowing, the reps are also probing the abandoned federal properties that is worth about 20 trillion naira as well.
You borrow and put it halfway, probably the administration finishes, and who are the people who have the money misappropriate it, put it in their pocket, and another administration comes, and that one's doing abandoned property. And because abandoned property doesn't yield anything to politicians, they will abandon and start their own. So that kickback, kick front, 10% official or emerging will be holding hands, so that they will start all the shenanigans, all the people that are around who help you get to position need to be compensated with contracts. That's why in the level we are going, 23, is that trillion or billion?
Trillion.
Trillion abandoned contract. Now, if you look deep, that contract will borrow to go into it and abandon area. Now, new ones are being borrowed, and they will point at one contract as why they are borrowing. But then when they borrow, some of the things they are telling the borrow to do, you can't finish it in 20 years. But this government, worst that will happen is that they get more 4 years, second term. And then another person might come in. And that person might have a different, with different people backing and different people who are pushing him, and they will bring fresh proposal. They say Nigeria is elephant meat. But the elephant is getting lean and lean every day. They don't use it the annually. I say annually, that's elephant meat. They don't use national cake because the national cake got bad a long time and soured, and they couldn't even hold. And it couldn't rise again, and the thing is depleted. So they're eating national puff-puff.
Now, Chris, we see that FG outlaws mother tongue policy and reinstates English as language of instruction. So are they trying to officially, I don't know, say that our local languages cannot be used anymore?
Officially as a national language. So anywhere you write, they say, what's the official language of your country? So English, which we have been doing.
English has always been the official language.
That's what they are now repeating. So nobody says you should not speak your mother tongue when you are alone or when you are feeling. Your mother tongue remains one of the languages. The United Nations, whenever you are filling their form, they will tell you what's the official language of your nation you write. Then they will ask you the native. And you write all the languages you know. And if you are applying for a job with United Nations, those things raise your mark because they are scored. So, I don't know, I don't understand this mother tongue thing, but I'm saying it on the periphery of my understanding. When we look at it deeply, we now understand what. Because in Nigeria, some personal or some tribal issues, some marginalization, some subjugation are always buried deep down in policies. You will swallow it and think you are, when it gets to your stomach and start digesting, that's why you start smelling like ethnicism, nepotism, marginalization, all those negative things start smelling in your mouth. You say, what did I eat? Probably you have eaten mother tongue, you swallow mother tongue policy because federal government has given that. But when you start digesting, at the end of it all, you start seeing all manner of things. And then look at the educational policy of Nigeria. When people are not looking deep, some things are buried there that are not show anything that is one Nigeria. Even in the language and the religious teaching. This one now will confuse people. Why are we coming to announce mother tongue?
Exactly.
Are you banning it? And I scroll back and see my fellow Igbo man and say, Kedu. He said, probably no. He said, why am I? I said, I should ask him how. Is there a law? And I don't know, these are things. Because we know what our official language of Nigeria is. Why coming out with this? If there is nothing smelly about it, then we go with it.
So, Nnamdi Kanu has been going to court consistently over the past weeks. And currently he has prayed to the appeal court to actually stop the terrorism charge rule. The terrorism charge rule. What do you think? Do you think it's something that they'll pull through?
This appeal court now, other lower courts have set Nnamdi Kanu free on all charges that have been laid on him by Nigerians. Our concern is that somebody, the court said discharge him, you came and held him and went back to write fresh charges and come and you are charging him. And the man said he doesn't have he's submitting no case submission. Federal government is insisting on trying him on what charge they put on him. So that's why we have, and the man is still insists, appeal court should just quash that because he has no case to answer. He has been saying consistently, and people have followed even the world. I'm not speaking for Nnamdi Kanu. I've never met him, but we read what the papers release about Nnamdi Kanu, what he is going to court, what he played in court. Even some viral video of what he said and the altercation in court. He said, from the manner of charge and what is happening now, that he was kidnapped from Kenya, brought here. And you cannot kidnap somebody which illegality cannot lead to legality. If the federal government has had process of getting Nnamdi Kanu to this level, and he will know how to plead his case. But for now, he has found a lacuna in what federal government has done, and the world are watching. And there's some information, whether confirmed or not, from Kenya and other people of the world, telling people that you can't try Nnamdi Kanu because you kidnapped him officially, brought him here, and you are pleading charge. How can so? Every other thing that happened in the past, we are supposed to. The only thing I don't know is a complex case. Whatever federal government want to do this, let them go ahead and do. But then they know the world is watching, and people have spoken and pleaded and urged, advocated, and spoke about it and said, federal government, get to Nnamdi Kanu's scale with political solutions. Since the judicial solutions and legal solutions are becoming dicey and complex, why not use? And I think the federal government of Nigeria, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Jagaban, has all the power. As he has disposed some powers he had when he released 175 people on what the clemency. That shows that where he tested his power, and then it worked. He has tested his power in those areas developing, so he can as well apply it to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Otherwise, whatever the government is doing over time over Nnamdi Kanu has shown it's smelling like something is quite different about Nnamdi Kanu, but people cannot see. If the federal government they know what we do know as ordinary people, they should have told us. Otherwise, people are now looking at it as Nnamdi Kanu as an underdog who is marginalized because he comes from Southeast Nigeria, and
that's a really bad image out there.
Now,
so
just very quickly before we go, REC is making an allegation saying that Nigerian presidents since 1999 breached the constitution.
the Nigerian.
REC is alleging that Nigerian presidents since 1999 have all breached the constitution.
If since 1999 Nigerian constitution has been breached and will continue, that means we'll be running on a rickety vehicle of constitution. And well, a lot of people have said, why don't we review the constitution of Nigeria? Look at where we have lacunas, add it up, because no constitution is fully complete. And over time, by adding and removing, we'll get to a more acceptable constitution. Some people say that constitution is totally faulted, and we have a fresh one. And when you're calling for a fresh one, suspending Nigerian constitution even for 1 second might be called for anarchy. So the amendment to the point where it can stand, so that you are working on an alternative one that they found very close, you can swap with without lacuna, and that's it. But I think the National Assembly, who are the lawmaking body of Nigerian arm of government, know what to do, because 90 million flies cannot be wrong. If majority of Nigerians, when they've gone around Nigeria on ceremony of constitutional review, and they asked them and shown evidences of special areas that should be amended in Nigerian constitution, and they have up till now not doing it. If you come back in 2026, they will still go around, spend money, go around Nigeria ceremonies. After Senate has come, they go, Federal House of Reps will come, the same thing on constitutional review, and we have done it over time, and no review of the constitution has taken place. Meaning that we are running around the circle, telling ourselves to send life, hoping to achieve success, and look at what's appearing.
For 26 years now. Okay, so just in a note, I just wanted to answer this. OPEC has shown reports that Nigeria is underproducing crude again.
Nigeria is underproducing. We have not even met our OPEC quota. The little we produce, we steal it by ourselves, throw it across, refine, bring it back. If one we go and import it again and sell to us, that is the sleaze, the grease and the corruption that is happening to us. We have not. How much we are spending to guard pipeline can build. How much contract given to people to guard pipeline can build 20 refineries like Dangote in all the 6 regional to replace the moribund NNPCL refineries that are in Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna. They would have even gone back to the same location and build a modern refinery like Dangote side by side in these 3 locations.
Okay.
But we bring crude oil that God has given us here, badges of criminal come in, load crude oil, take it across our
Chris,
border.
I think that's the most we can take on this conversation. I said in a nutshell.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
no
joining.
Nigerian issue can handle in a nutshell. So if you want Nigerian issue handled in a nutshell, is yes or no. So let's say how the eyes have it, I, nay have it, no. And so that's the only way that they make Nigerian issue short. Otherwise, this issue we need to talk about. But God bless you for having been with us this morning. God bless my angels here. God bless you that are joining us from any part of the world. Remember, God blessing are meant for those who deserve to be blessed. God bless you.
God bless you too, Chris. Thank you so much. After this time out, we will have our first conversation or second conversation this morning. Stay with us.